West says that Jesus was audaciously going around claiming to be God himself. I don't think that's true. Nowhere in Mark, Matthew, or Luke does Jesus actually claim to be God in his own words.
This is our fourth video showing that Jesus doesn't need to blatantly say, "I'm God," in order for it to be obvious. Today we're looking at 3 more examples where he's not as vague as skeptics think. But here's the key. You need the Old Testament context to get just how big his claims really are. Take John the Baptist. He calls Jesus someone so powerful, he's not worthy to carry his sandals. Makes sense if he's just a man, but there's a lot more. John says Jesus carries God's winnowing fork and will baptize with fire, which ties directly to God's fiery judgment in Daniel, Jeremiah, and Isaiah. John isn't just hyping a regular guy. He's pointing to someone who's both human and divine and will judge the world. Later, when John's disciples ask Jesus, "Are you the one to come?" Jesus doesn't just say yes. Instead, he points to his works. The blind see, the lame walk, the deaf hear, and the dead are raised. These aren't just cool miracles. They fulfill Isaiah's prophecies where it says, "Behold, your God will come with vengeance, with the recompense of God. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then shall the lame leap like a deer, and the tongue of the mute sing for joy." But these aren't just signs of the Messiah. They're signs of Yahweh himself stepping in to save his people. By pointing to these works, Jesus is basically saying, those prophecies about God, yeah, they're about me. He's boldly claiming to be the God of Israel. And don't forget, this idea of God showing up in human form isn't new. The Old Testament is full of examples. The Lord visits Abraham as a man, he wrestles with Jacob, and he appears to Joshua as the commander of the Lord's army. Jesus fits perfectly into this Jewish pattern. Let's take a look at another example. In Luke 10:21 through 22, Jesus boldly claims his unique bond with the Father. Jesus flips expectations in Luke 10:21, thanking the Father for hiding the truth from the wise and revealing it to the humble, just like God did with Daniel instead of Babylon's elites. Then Jesus drops a bomb. All things have been handed over to me by the Father. All things, authority, power, judgment. This screams Daniel 9, where the Son of Man receives dominion from the Ancient of Days. Jesus isn't just hinting, he's claiming that role. Then he makes it personal. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son. Now, others in the Old Testament were called sons of God, like Israel or kings, but Jesus claims it uniquely, far beyond even Moses, who spoke with God face to face. Then comes the bombshell. Only Jesus can reveal the Father. He's the exclusive bridge between God and humanity. These claims are massive. He's the Son to whom all things are handed, who fully knows the Father, and who alone can reveal him. That's not prophet language. That's divine language. Finally, in Matthew 23:37, Jesus laments over Jerusalem. "How often I have wanted to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, but you were not willing." At first it seems poetic, but it is packed with Old Testament significance. Yahweh is the one who gathers his people under his wings. Psalm 91:4 says, "He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge." We see the same kind of figurative language in Psalm 17 and 36. When Jesus says, "I have wanted to gather your children," not God has wanted. He's stepping into Yahweh's role as Israel's protector. He's not just lamenting their rejection of a prophet, he's mourning their rejection of God himself. Alex's claim here couldn't be further from the truth. He's just missing the Jewish context that makes Jesus' divine self-understanding so obvious. I hope you've been finding this series helpful, and we're going to continue in the next video. So I'll see you there, and thank you so much for watching.